Now we stay with these developments around the postponement of the Madlanga Commission. Of course, undoubtedly the top story of the day, and the commission, of course, being set up to investigate some of these allegations that we've seen being leveled in the public domain. So to help us unpack the latest developments now, we're joined by political analyst Dr. Ongama Mtimka. Good evening to you, and thank you so much for your time. Possible suspensions, delays, your reaction to the latest developments around the Madlanga Commission?
I think that while the Madlanga Commission deals with a very important national security matter, and it's important for it to get started almost immediately given the national security aspects of its investigations, I was sort of satisfied by the progress that was given by the minister today, outlining, for example, the securing of facilities, building facilities for both commissions, the security clearances or assessments and risk profiling that has been done, and the appointment of personnel that has been done. To me, hearing about those developments at the same time as hearing a message about postponement suggests that for now, we can give the ministry that is playing a crucial role in enabling the work of these commissions the benefit of doubt that they are acting in good faith so far, and that they are doing what they can in order to ensure that the commission starts its work. Obviously, it's disappointing because we want, especially if you look at also the arguments made earlier about by General Sibiya, about how he also sees the work of that commission as important for his own, investigation. It's an urgent matter, but I think that there is significant progress that's been made. That's comforting enough as far as I am concerned.
And when you look, though, at another issue which, has raised eyebrows, and particularly, for myself when I was listening to the minister, the fact that they are yet to finalize the protection of witnesses. One would have thought that that is a huge issue that they would have had to resolve now, because she says that they're still they will enhance what the Zondo Commission was doing, but they were scheduled to meet, they're going to meet, in fact, Thursday to iron out some of the issues here. This is critical because whoever you bring to the fore, you also need to, in some cases, provide protection.
Yeah, so that's why I am of the view, Bongi, that it's important for them to first resolve that issue and other logistical issues before rushing to have the commission. In fact, there must be urgency, but unless the protection of witnesses is resolved, which they did give us some indication of how they are categorizing the risk profile, especially of those who are going to be working, in the commission, except that they also still need to do that work as far as the witnesses are concerned. We can expect that there's going to be high stakes attempts being made to eliminate witnesses in this matter, given the allegations of the involvement of organized crime and people in the higher echelons of political and administrative power within the police. So it's important that they are circumspect, that they dot every T, they cross every T, dot every I before making that final, resumption or beginning of investigation.
And what are you reading into also the possible suspensions, right, of the DG and the DDG? I wasn't really able to apply my mind to the nitty-gritty of, what has informed that decision. But I think it's welcome any measures that are being made to ensure that we dig deeper into all the possible, players that can be involved here, and making sure that they are not part of the operations of the police at a time when
they are being investigated and national security issues have been flagged should be undertaken unless people have got evidence that that is action that is motivated more by attempts to stifle rather than to enable. And so far, I haven't had those arguments.
Because there are some who are talking about, raising questions around whether or not is this about administrative delays or is it about politics?
It remains to be seen, and I think that whenever we make these allegations, it's always important that they be corroborated in terms of this is how the pieces of the puzzle fit. And unless people have got, probable evidence or probable correlations between actions being taken and underhandedness, it becomes a speculative game that's counterproductive.
And speaking about correlations, there is another matter that you alluded to a little earlier on, which is playing itself out in court. And this is around, Shadrack Spear, the Deputy Police Commissioner for Crime Detection, challenging, his suspension. That's what he's calling it. And he says that he wants to be back at work, but we do know that he was asked to take a leave of absence, and saying that, he doesn't believe that he should be singled out as far as this is concerned. And when you look at that, and something that you spoke about a little earlier on, this is an important part, especially for some of the questions that are being raised. So if this matter does continue in court, even to the start of the commission, can it have an impact on the work?
I think for me, listen to the argument, one aspect which I think does need even some of us who are emphatic on the need for precautionary actions because of national security nature of this issue. The one thing where it's worth hearing what the court is going to be is around this issue of lawfulness thereof of the suspension and the procedural fairness or lack thereof of it. Otherwise, as far as other arguments that he's make around what he sees as a tainted disciplinary process, the claim, which to me it doesn't make sense, around obstruction of justice and the order that is seeking from the court, I think that the elite in South Africa need to learn that sometimes when you actually have an indefensible, action that you've done that's been out and exposed in the public, such as, for example, somebody drawing links between your actions and actions of or bad faith consequences, such as aiding the agenda of organized crime. I think that he should actually be respectful to South Africans, even as we acknowledge his own rights, to allow the processes, the suspension, to take its course. Because what do you mean you want to return to office when you have serious allegations around action that is already in the public domain that you did undertake, and somebody is drawing connections between that action and bad faith, rationale, and that is corroborated by events that are in the public domain. This is not like a witch hunt where somebody is throwing, allegations that won't stick. Some elements of this can be corroborated in public because of the public nature of some of the things that General Mkhwanazi alluded to. So my view is that other than the issue of the procedural fairness, as well as what he says is unlawfulness, I think that the general must respectfully allow the processes to unfold. Because would he be comfortable if somebody who had taken action that was known in the public domain and it became clear that that action was linked to activities of organized crime, would he be comfortable if that person was continuing to be in office while investigations took place?
So when you then look at it as a final question then, right, there is the ad hoc committee in Parliament, and there is this process of the commission that is currently taking place. You do have people who are saying that as much as Parliament is important when it comes to exercising its oversight, but it does feel like almost like parallel processes are running, and you wanted one probe so that there is one that looks deeply into what exactly is going on. What is your take on that argument of those who are saying let the commission do its work, but others are saying it is just as important to have Parliament investigate?
There's a reason why we have separation of powers as an important doctrine of how governments work. Parliament has nothing to do waiting for any of the other processes that are taking place in order to satisfy itself using different principles of what is the crux of the matter. And I think that their work may, in fact, open up avenues which the Commission can want to follow up, and vice versa. So I don't believe in this argument that this should progress in a linear fashion. I think that they can progress simultaneously. It's not like this is a judicial process itself where people can raise sub judice arguments, you know.
All right, thank you so much for that. That was political analyst Dr. Ongama Mtimka speaking to us about the developments around Lieutenant General Shepherd Sibiya, and then, of course, the postponement of the Madlanga Commission. Still waiting to know when it's expected to get underway. It was supposed to be the 1st of September, but doesn't look like that is happening.